got a sunny day, well, sunny afternoon. Just taking a brisk walk to the shop. I have to put my camera, just point it out. So I've got a lot of kids walking up here, so I'm just putting the camera away from them. Just point it at the floor. Yeah. Well, it's definitely warmer out here than what my app says. My app says it's about 11 out here. It feels more like about 14 or 15. I've been flying my drone again, and that bloke didn't come back, so he clearly went away and found out what the law was. But I am expecting more people though to like pop up and go, oh, whose drone's that? What, blah blah blah. But I don't know.
Ellie, move over.
At least that guy didn't overreact, though. You get some that overreact, start cute, like saying, no, that's not right, blah blah blah. But I'm not going to be getting into arguments like that with people. I'm just going to be telling them what's what. You probably went home and investigated Category A airspace. Which obviously I can go in, and also legacy drones can go in. But what I'm thinking about doing, well, I was thinking about paying for it today, is my next phase of my droning, which would mean doing an exam. But what that enabled me to do is then, instead of having a 250 gram drone, I can have an over 750 sort of gram drone. Because I've done that extra exam, it puts me straight back in the airspace that I'm in now, so I can then fly a big drone near to people. And it's kind of the first ladder, the first step on the ladder, just sort of getting on a drone. It's where you sort of go from being like a hobbyist into like doing it like for a profession. And that's basically the step. And I've also been ironing. Obviously, the spring sales have started today. And DJI are selling rather cheap drones. But there's a DJI 3 on there, a Mini 3. There's also a 4K on there with about £100 off, which is pretty good. But I'm now eyeing up these crazy drones that are like the next jump can be like a £2,000 drone, or you can spend 15 grand on a drone. Do you know what I mean? What's the point in spending that sort of money on a drone? I think for about £2,000 I can get one of them. Come on, mate, you're getting a bit quick. Cool. Yeah, a DJI I Inspire. It's just like a huge thing. And did you know, I was talking about deliveries, drone deliveries the other week. I see an interesting documentary on it last night. You got Deliveroo that are testing out the drones, and then you got the sort of food companies delivering robots. Yeah, trials going on at the minute. So you can guarantee when Amazon, you can guarantee when Amazon get on that, it's going to be like, once that gets legally sort of passed, they'll be flying all around the skies. No doubt about that. It's Cycling Proficiency Week or something. If they still do that. Cycling Proficiency. Anyway, we're just going down to my pals quickly. Hello?
Yeah.
Tripping me up. Yeah, it must be cycling week. It's called Cycling Proficiency in my day. I speak to all you older people, you know what I'm on about? With a little red badge. But the kids nowadays come out on the road. In my day, you were like kept in the playground, but to be honest with you, it's better that they get out on the road. Truthful. Right. Bonfires, you know. It's kiddie turnout time, isn't it? So I'm just walking through all the people. Tell you what, we'll go out the back way. Might even put the drone up here in a minute. Check that out. In fact, I got right over that I'll put the pictures up later. I got right over that yesterday. And that is the tallest folly in Britain. What about that? In Britain. What about that? And you've also got my church next to it, St Mary's. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have a look at that in a little while. Anyway, I'm just going to flick my camera up so people can't see precisely where I'm going. Not that it really matters. So I had a splitting headache earlier, but I got some Anadin, which is it was quite a fierce one. What about Ian Huntley then? What about the man that killed Ian Huntley? What a waster he was as well. He's been charged with murder. Is there any point in charging that guy with murder? Is it really in the public's interest? The geezer's never getting out. To be honest, I think there's a lot more like Huntley that need doing. You look at that Lee Rigby's killer, he needs sorting out. Not saying violence is the answer, but I think it is for people like that. I'm surprised Huntley never got it years ago, to be honest with you. He must have been just a target from day. People like that are obviously just targets. Levi Bellfield, you know what I mean? All the monsters. But I've seen people going, oh, shake that guy's hand. I wouldn't shake his hand. He killed one woman, killed another woman and her unborn baby, murdered a mother and her son. And apparently, Huntley's going to be a bit graphic now. Tune away if you don't want the graphicness. Apparently, he split Huntley's skull right open. He was blind straight away. He like spiked him in the eyes. Huntley obviously thought he was super safe. Then again, if you got, you know what I mean? One's a sad waster wasting another waster, isn't it? Really. You do get a few normal bods scattered in them units, but I use the term normal loosely. Yeah, crazy, eh? Yeah, apparently he's already doing, like, he's never getting out, that guy. What did Huntley do? 20 years? He had another 20 to do. Then again, I'm a strong believer in people like that. Obviously, you got to pay the tax. You got to pay that man's upkeep in prison and whatnot. I just think we should exterminate them. People like that should just be exterminated. Save the taxpayer some money. That's what I think. Obviously, the thing that makes me laugh is they get put in there, right, on a protective wing, like protection. I think the public need protecting, don't they? But I suppose in one of them kind of units, you got all sorts of people. In fact, you'd need eyes in the back of your head, wouldn't you, to be in that kind of environment. Obviously, I've been in a prison environment, but no sort of secure unit or nothing like that. Been in sort of category B prisons. But where they used to send everyone around here was just Canterbury, before Elmley, and Rochester. That was my first experience, was with Rochester. And I was 17 in there. I did 2 weeks in there on remand because I never used to turn up. I was just bell jumping all the time. And then the little old lady said, well, you can go home, Phil, for about 2 weeks, and then she locked me away again. Driving on a ban, that was, twice. Now I just think they laugh at you. Just laugh at you for a crime like that. Yet they put me in there with all sorts of crazies. Then again, saying that, was a lot more dangerous in my day. None of these TVs and all that shit. No toilets or nothing. All you had was like a bed, and like a little cupboard. That was it. Don't too many life's luxuries. You'll start getting used to it. And again, how anybody can get used to that sort of life, I don't know. Anybody that says they love it is just talking shit. Yeah. Then that little old woman sent me to Hollesley Bay where them Essex boys met. But I was there meeting other Essex boys. But I was in there about 6 years before they got there. I spent my 18th birthday in there. I'll tell you what, that's the most violentest prison I've ever been in. Most violentest environment I've ever been in. Yeah. But I'd already decided when I left Tunbridge Police Cell that I wasn't going to let any screws touch me, any other fucking Herbert's touched me. No, nobody was. I mean, nobody was going to touch me because I was going to touch them back. I'd already got that in my head. But you get some people who get to prison that they haven't grown up on the street. They ain't got a clue, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite amusing walking through the door and all look round at you. Bit intimidating to start with, but then you just end up walking around like you don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? You're either going to walk around all paranoid and that, looking everywhere, or you're just not going to give a fuck. But I've had a couple of close encounters with some real screwballs. One geezer in Lincoln prison come in my cell, and he was on smack or something. You could see he was right off his nut. But then when I saw him again on the landing, he started like, oh, I don't know, he's just huffing and puffing at me. I thought, he's gonna like try and go for me here, but he didn't. I think he was just giving it some hot air. When I was in Lincoln, Lincoln was just full of Scousers and people from Manchester. That their local prisons couldn't really control them. But the reason I was in there is I committed a crime in that county. But it didn't really bother me. I was the only one that spoke like I do. But I fitted right in with all them northerners. They was all good as gold, man, all of them. Yeah, prison stories, eh? I've seen people getting battered over a radio, do you know what I mean? Banged right out over a Mars bar, or do you know what I mean? Just stupid stuff. I can't say I've ever sort of borrowed a lot in there. Do you know what I mean? You make do, man. Especially now, where you can't even smoke in there. I think you can vape, and that's it. But in my day, you could roll up, have a roll up, walk around. No one gave a shit, do you know what I mean? And it was a lot better than, it was before the prisons were privatised. Now they're all sort of private prisons. But it was better back in the day. I've been in Canterbury jail, where the screws come along. All the cell doors are open, everyone's smoking joints, and they're all sweet with that. Because they used to be sweet with it because it kept everyone chilled out. And the reason they got everyone on the spice and on all the brown is because they then phased out no one smoking drugs. We're going to test you. So instead of having like cannabis in your system for a couple of months, they're having all that the other stuff, and that changed. But I've never touched, obviously I've touched smoking there, but I've never done heroin in there. In fact, I had to tell my cellmate, that was in Elmley, I'd gone in this cell with the two fellas that had already been in there. They were from London. Anyway, I've come back in the cell, and he's sitting on my bed, right, burning up his heroin in his tin foil. And I said, look mate, you got to fucking get on your bed, bruv. I said, because as soon as the screw comes, man, you're just dropping all that on my bed. And I made him get up on his bed with all this shit. It don't really interest me, heroin, do you know what I mean? What we used to do, just get a bit of lump of puff, have a cup of coffee and just put loads in it. Then just walk around stoned out your nut. And being stoned in there is a completely different world, but I think that a lot of the convicts nowadays are very uneducated from what I've seen. It's like they think it's a badge or something, do you know what I mean? And it ain't a badge, man. That's a shit life to lead. Obviously now you've got the Muslim brigade as well, like pressurising all the young criminals, come and join our fucking gang. There was none of that in my day. You can't cook your bacon and whatnot. In my day, they would have just got smashed the fuck. But now it's the Muslims are the biggest they're the biggest gang. I'm mistaken. They're the biggest gang. Yeah, the Muslims. They'd have got bacon fucking wrapped round their nut, man. In my day, even now, I'd rather get a good kicking, man, than join them. But a lot of them young lads are scared, man, so they join up. Yeah, you get a lot of the coloured geezers who sort of help, who kind of join up with the white lads. But yeah, imagine that. Fucking jihadists coming in your cell trying to talk you around. So I soon close him down. I couldn't get involved in the conversation with them kind of people because they were just radicalised. Anyway, going on a deep one today. Fucking the mosque. The mosque is pretty big in prison. In my day, there was a Roman Catholic church and a Church of England. And that's all there should be, really. But anyway, religion is just a load of bollocks, really, isn't it? Yeah, apparently what made that geezer do Huntley, obviously Holly and Jessica, the last picture that they had taken was with a Man United top on. Apparently he was walking around with a Man United top on. I'm surprised no one's done him before, to be honest with you. I suppose you've got to get a chance, haven't you? But it sounds like this geezer that did him, 2 spiked bars, he's just smashing the head out of his head, about 19 times in the head. Apparently he's pretty dead straight away. Blind. Who's that sneaking past? Yeah. Huntley, eh? That geeze's going to go to court for it. I think it's not in the public's interest, is it? I think they should just get along with it, get on with it. But I suppose he'll get another life sentence because I think he's already doing 2 or 3. So he was never getting out. But yeah, they're all deprived rapists and fiddlers and bacons and all sorts, man. Whatever we're calling them. But like I said, you do get your odd normal prisoner in with them lot. You might get your right arm robber or your bank robbers. But yeah, no more Ian Huntley. There's a lot more that should get it as well, though, isn't there? Really. What's that little black? What was his name, man? Who killed all them kids? Southport, wasn't it? Yeah, Rudy, man. He needs wasting. A lot of them need wasting, don't they? That's why I think it's a waste of money putting them in prison. May as well just bring back hanging or something for the likes of them sort of people. Even Huntley's own daughter flushes ashes down the toilet. apparently his own mum turned up though. She travelled 150 miles or something, but I think she was kind of whispering, hope he goes. But I think he was pretty dead after the incident, from what I'm hearing. And he must have proper had a clear shot at him to get about 17 whacks off on him. Imagine a steel rod, that'd just go right through your brain, wouldn't it? Well, that's what happened. Cracked his skull right open. Anyway, we're at the park. We're at the park. I can hear something beeping and it sounds like my drone. In fact, I heard a mad noise on my drone this morning, twice for the first time. When you're running out of battery, it sort of beeps at you a bit. And the more you're staying out flying around, the more the beep gets, I've discovered. But I've managed to get back every time. We'll be doing a bit of camping up here in the summer. What do you reckon? Little camp out. My niece's dad's baseball club. I might even fucking come up here in the summer. My little niece Cassie's dad runs all this. And he was actually a baseball player in America. Not that I'm into baseball, it's a bit like rounders, isn't it? Yeah. They cut the grass, didn't they? When I was a kid, they had 3 football pitches on here. All with nets. Obviously, that's where you strike off from. Is it called a strike? I guess so. And then they've got that square running around there. I used to be quite quick at, well, I still am quite fast at running. I used to take off and not even hit the ball sometimes. This is where you get the ball from. What way are we running? Is it that way round, I guess? If it was rounders, it'd be that way round. They normally have all sand across here. I bet I could still outpace some of these youngsters, man, around here, I bet you. Yeah, it's a bit here, look. Seems like more of a curve on the edges. So I'm new to the layout of this. Looks like it's open right up. Whether that's supposed to be like that, though, I don't know. I guess that's the. I guess if you're approaching here, you scored a run, or what is it? In fact, we used to play rounders right there. But it looks a lot better when it's all done. So no, it's drying up a bit now. Come over here the other night with boots. It disappeared, man. See, I don't know what all this is up here. It kind of ruined it up here, really. It was a lot better when I was a kid, man. It was just open. When I was a kid, you'd have had fucking 10 or 20 glue sniffers up there. I mentioned the glue sniffers, but yeah. And there would have been some glue sniffers up there as well. Eagle stick was their choice of glue. Anyway, my dad and his mates, it was supposed to be a working men's club. The posh people complained, so we ended up with Village Hall. That's why it's got that little bar bit in there. But yeah, when I was a kid, none of this was here. None of these houses none of these sort of houses, estates was here. That's not very secure, is it? That's not very secure. I could ping it open with a screwdriver. That's what I have to watch up here flying my drone at night, these wires. Yeah, go right across, look. That's probably the main thing I look out for, you know. What power lines. Into some good parties around here. Size of that spotlight, look. Size of that spotlight. I'm going to try locking the door up properly. There's big cameras on the side, with cages around them. All supposedly pointing strategically, but to be honest with you, can of black spray, man, everything goes dark, doesn't it? So I don't know what this little area. Check this out, man. They've got more security up here than they're fucking anywhere else. There's probably no one watching them though. Fucking grass is long. We used to play football like against the wall here. Now obviously they've just ruined it. It's like down there they've made this sort of woodlands walk thing going along now. But they've just ruined it. All it is really is just a fucking mud bath. 6 months of the year. Cut that grass, man, didn't they? Fucking hell. They used to have big fairs up here, the Mayfair. They don't have the Mayfair anymore, they have a June fair. It's actually supposed to be a Mayfair. Anyway, let's still walk around for today. I don't know what's in there now. That used to be kind of the youth club. Now, when I was a kid, all that was private tennis courts that only the posh kids could get in because they had a key. But all the council estate kids made a hole in the fence and we used to climb through. And then the tennis man used to come up, chasing us all out. But, yeah. Good old days, man. When kids sort of hung around on the street. But yeah, used to be, still see the hole in the fence was just there. And you had 2 or 3 tennis courts across here. You still kind of see the resemblance of the tennis courts. Oh yeah, the chat room there. Look at this shot. I've got a tennis racket and that as well. We used to fucking spend endless hours up here, man, doing nothing really. Got a basketball though. It looks like. And again, I started looking at aircraft in a whole different way now. There you've got another bit there for the dog walkers, I think, that bit there. Yeah. That's where I fly at night. See that? Where I say my village is in a valley. Obviously you've got the hill up there. That's what I do at night. I just go right up and then just... I think last night I went for about 4 or 5 miles and then came back. Yeah, amazing range on them drones. Like the DJI ones. But yeah, whichever way you're going, you're going to have to fly up anyway. And obviously you could end up crashing, because my sort of 0 to 120 metres altitude limit, obviously if you're going uphill, you're going to be going up but not really gaining anything. But if you take off on a hill, it's from wherever you take off from. So in theory you could take off 600 metres up the side of a hill, but it'd think you are from sort of there to there, if you get me. Not that I've been flying up any mountains. All I do is just get it right up high to about 90 metres and then just go flat out in sports mode. You'd be surprised how quick you can chew through all that woodland, man. What a lovely day. Free dog. Hello, were your dogs?
Yeah.
Check these dogs out. Check these pooches out, look. Huh? Nah, it's alright. Cut that out. Fluffy, though. Didn't like his dogs on there. Unlucky. We can put whatever we want on the film out here. That's why I'm going to do my next exam, because that's going to mean I can get a bigger drone and still fly it in the same areas I'm in now. Yeah, it'd be interesting getting a bigger drone. Again, I think once you've mastered one drone, you've mastered them all, in my opinion. If you're start off with a toy drone, you'll notice a difference when you jump from a toy drone onto a DJI drone. Everything just gets a lot quicker. I would advise you, if you're going to be learning, get a toy drone to start with, because you're going to end up crashing. Yeah. Don't bother getting one with all the obstacle avoidance on it, because if you learn to drone using all them aids, you're never going to be a real. If ever you've got to fly in the real world, you're going to be a pretty crap drone pilot, because you're using all the aids. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're not using all the aids, you're actually using your brain and your awareness. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it all. I wouldn't mind to go one of them first person view drones though, like 200 mile an hour. I'm getting excited over doing 45 mile an hour. Imagine doing 200. You have to have a spotter out with you for one of them though, because you have to wear the goggles. You can't just bundle up, put your goggles on and off you go. You have to have someone who hasn't got goggles on, because you've got the headset on. You're not really spatially aware of a lot. They do look interesting though. I've been looking at them DJI flip drones as well. You can just flip over, do all mad stuff. And the DJI Neo, is it called? And I believe there's a Neo 2 that's out now. But yeah, as to what drone I'm getting next, I don't know. I'm just a bit lost with it all. But I know something. I'll start saving some money for it. But the way I look at it is, if I spend £2,000, I can get exactly what I want, and then I can earn some money with it. Oh, you can earn money with any drone, really. And obviously, doing the next exam will shoot me into the workspace. Actually, I'm going to go and have a look at that in a minute. It's called C2 or something. I think it's going to cost me about 180 quid, but I think it's kind of valid for 5 years, I think. That's like the test I've just done, sort of test you take when you start droning. That's kind of valid as well for a year. But yeah, that's all you have to update though, is that certificate. You can obviously go up the exams as you're going up, but to be honest, the higher you go up, the more it costs. All you really need is class, was it C2 or something, I don't know. I reckon I'm going to have a go at it though, alright, to be honest with you. God, it's warm in here, man. Too warm in here. Show me a little drone that I landed with. Wow. It's because I've been out there. And then I'm going to look up that drone thing. See how much I've got to pay. There's one drone, what is it? DJI. It's like a 15.5 grand. You like make proper movies with it. £15.5 grand, man. Wouldn't want to crash that in a tree, would you? Then again, something like that, I'd have insurance for that. I've got to get insurance as well. As soon as I start earning money, you have to get insurance. But I can get like £5 million liability insurance, which is pretty cheap each year. Wow, that is quite warm out there. Anyway, I'll show you this drone, shall I? Who remembers this one? What I have to do with this one is I have to put my operator's ID. I can fly as many drones as I like, but I have to put my operator ID on all of them. Flyer ID, sorry. What we got here? I've got a digital control, a thing for that one. It's not connected yet though. There we go. Look. How many satellites will we get out here? It does pick them up in here, not that I'll tell you what I can do. It's not letting me do it yet until I've got enough satellites. Got 10 satellites. Need about 13. So I can take off without the satellites. But... no, forget that. Let's try picking it up. Might get a signal. Tell you what we'll do. Aha! 10. Because I'm indoors. In fact, I'm going to put it in indoor mode. I've got an indoor mode, I believe, which is... GPS. Not turning that off, is it? No, not even connecting up today. It will do in here though. Not that you should really fly around indoors. Yeah. The G10. You've got control over this one. But then we've obviously got quite a few batteries as well for that one. Yeah, that's not too bad, that. That's a good learning drone. It's got return to home, it's GPS as well. But my super fast drone is in this bag. This one we can just fire up. I also put my other propellers back on. I think I'm getting more speed out of them ones. Brand new propellers on. In fact, I'm tempted to buy, it's expensive, but I reckon another couple of batteries, but for 2 batteries it's like 85 quid. At the minute, I've got 2 batteries for this, but I fancy having more flying time. But it's pretty expensive. But again, I'll show you one of the batteries. It's an intelligent battery. It works everything out. That's why you can never really lose your drone if you follow the follow what this tells you to do. You'll find a lot of these droners on YouTube lose their drones because you'll see when it says return to home, they're just cancelling it, seeing how further they can get out. We can only cancel that a certain amount of times, and then, you know what I mean, fucking, you're not gonna. Well, what'll happen in the end, if you just keep cancelling it, return to home, no, cancel, what it'll do in the end, it'll make an emergency forced landing. That's the last resort it has. That's it'll just ignore you. And obviously with the Mini 4K, it's got sensors underneath, but it literally land anywhere. It doesn't differentiate between a back garden, a front garden. Probably wouldn't land in the road. It wouldn't know not to do that. But another good thing is when you do lose your drone, all through this is Find My Drone. It literally takes you right there. But like I said, you don't know where that's going to land. Yeah. Saying that, what did I do last night? Did about 5 miles. Went out for about 5 miles last night. Just got right up high and just flew out. There we go. And I've got that silvery flashing on it, so it tries to scare the birds off. You get bird attacks, you know, that come down to try and get your drone. That's why really the 120 metre altitude sort of limit needs to be, well, you can go a little bit over that. If you're getting a bird strike, what you got to do, birds can't fly up, birds can only fly down, so you have to fly up, if you get me. Yeah, but they do whiz out and try and get you. So I put that flashing on there, so it sort of scares them up a bit. Saying that, when they come for your drone, they come for it. I've had a couple of times where I've had to just go up. Obviously, them birds are flying on the thermals on the in the sort of air. Unless you get them big old fucking birds of prey, I don't know about them. I still think it's the same physics for all the birds. I don't think none of them can fly up. They all sort of glide down. But I've seen a couple of drone videos where it looks like a fucking eagle or something's come out of sort of out of nowhere, tried grabbing the drone. Yeah. Crazy, eh? All I can say is that drone operator weren't quick enough. Imagine that. A bald eagle flies out and nicks your drone, man. It's worth about fucking $2,000. Rise of the Foot Soldier. 7. The Kray Twins versus the Essex Boys. Starring Bernard O'Mahony. And, what's his name? The ICF bloke. Colton. They'll just keep rolling them films out, man. Till everybody's dead, man. I think Pat Tate's been alive longer in the movies than he was in real life. Madness 7. What, the album? That'd be the... third album by Madness, I believe. Could be wrong. What's quite mad about the Essex Boys films is, like Pat Tate, and mainly Tony Tucker. Tony Tucker wasn't even like how they portray him. He was a middle class kind of fella. Yeah, it's a great album actually. What's on there? Cardiac Arrest, I think it's on there. There's some good tunes on there. In fact, I was looking at records today. Madness have got one out live at the BBC, and so The Beat. And the Specials have got one out that's, I forget what record shop it's in, but it's only coming out in one record shop. Pat Tate versus Ronnie Cray. What, in their prime? Ronnie Cray all day long, man. He was a good boxer. I think he'd wipe the floor with Pat Tate. Wonderful. Hello, David. How you doing? That depends if Bernard O'Mahony's there, though. If he's there, well, no. Got to laugh at Bernard, really. Founder of the Essex Boys, Bernard O'Mahony. I think not. And who killed him? The geezers that went to jail for it. That's who killed the Essex Boys. Like I've always said. I bet, yeah, I've seen that. That's coming out soon, isn't it? I see something. Craig Fairbrass. He's quite a good actor, that Craig Fairbrass. They've got good actors and that in it, but... Again, to be honest with you, I think they all got what they deserved, really. Yeah, that's what I think. Bernard is, yeah, it's definitely a bit, everyone says that about Bernie. Like him. He was just a bouncer connect on the doors, do you know what I mean? I don't think he was right involved in their business. Crazy, eh? I still think there's a bit more to it, though. I still think the actual... If you look at the crime scene photographs and that, and how they all are in the Range Rover, it looks a bit placed to me. It looks a bit staged, but that's just what I think by looking at it. And that's because I think it's weird how they're all just sitting there. I think there'd be more blood and guts all over the gaff, man. If you're wasting people with a shotgun, it just all looks a bit placed to me. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, I agree with you there. Freddie Foreman, the main dog, top dog, man. Same as the Richardsons, man. It's like the Krays and the Richardsons. you'd rather get caught by the craze, to be honest with you. The old Richardsons, they take you down a scrapyard. Yeah. That's Frankie. Yeah, they're the proper villains. But as Freddie Foreman says anyway, the twins was going to get ironed out anyway. There's already sort of something in the pipeline to iron them out. Yeah. Not very good gangsters, are they, really? Going in the pub and doing that. You couldn't do that kind of thing if you don't get caught, do you? Power, I think, gone to their brains, thinking they can just walk into the pub and bang, bang. Billy Blundell, yeah, Essex people, yeah, very dangerous. Well, dangerous if you're on the wrong side of them, kind of thing. He's got little Billy, and his brother's huge. The Adams, yeah, they're from North London, weren't they? Big crime syndicate, I believe they were. Still are. Yeah, very dangerous people. In fact, they could make some brilliant films, couldn't they, on some of these gangsters? Instead of just doing the Essex Boys ones. But... trying to think of the other fan. There's someone I'm thinking of from South London, but I can't think who I'm thinking of. Yeah, the Craze, they was always sort of muzzling in on anything they could get in on. So say you've been out and done something, you earn a bit of money, they'd come round and want a cut. Crazy. Would they have survived in today's world? I doubt it. They'd just got fucking oozied down. Then again, nowadays it's not about how hard you are or how many men you can knock out. It's about who's got the biggest gun, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Strength and that, it's not a thing anymore. It's just who's got the biggest tool. In the olden days, they'd have a fight out on the street and then sort of go and have a pie and a beer, shake hands and that. Whereas now, Dave Courtney, I didn't really mind him. I didn't really like him when he was younger, but I think as he grew older, he didn't really bother me. Mad how he went out though, isn't it? Fucking crazy. Shot himself right in the head. Boom. That's it. McVicker, that's a good film to watch. About John McVicker. Anyway, I'll be back later, people.